I know that saying a Star Wars character turns evil is basically my whole shtick. Yes, I was wrong about Luke.
Matpat, you weren't wrong about Luke! Okay, I said I was going to do a response video to Matpat's new Star Wars theory. So, here I am. As last time, I will be looking at precise passages from his new video, so I'd recommend watching that first. It's actually funny how Matpat does all the research and I just have to watch his video. But anyways, I'm going to be talking again about how Luke is going to turn to the dark side and how Kylo Ren and Rey become Grey Jedis and Rey doesn't turn to the dark side. So basically, I'm going to go and say that I don't think Matpat is correct. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not just against it for the sake of being against it. After all, my latest video tried to confirm the theory everyone thinks Matpat was wrong about Luke turning to the dark side in the first place. Now let me just add here that I don't think Rey's parents are Han and Leia. Comment below if you want to see a theory on that. Now, let's get started. First of all, Matpat talks about how The Last Jedi will have major twists. Rian Johnson, the director, said you'd expect the unexpected, that it'll shock the audience, that there's going to be a scene where you'll be unable to breathe, etc. Now Matpat goes on to say that the shocking twist will be Rey turning to the dark side and killing Luke. I, however, very deeply disagree. By now, everyone is expecting Rey to turn to the dark side, especially with the last scene of the trailer. The trailer is obviously going to be misleading to confuse the mainstream audience into expecting something. Then, when the movie turns out differently, there's going to be the unexpected, so not what the trailer was going for. As it is, the end of the trailer obviously shows Rey thinking about joining the dark side. Now, if Rian Johnson wants us to be utterly shocked, this would not have made the trailer's cut, especially not as the final shot of the said trailer if it would have been true. The important quotes that Matpat quotes can also be misleading, and I also try to remember that, knowing all too well that I looked at the exact same clips in my other video. No, but like, seriously, watching Matpat's video was like watching the upgraded version of mine. I don't know if I should feel jealous or connected to him, or just realize that perhaps those clips are what the trailers want us to think is important, but actually isn't. Anyways, Matpat's first prediction that Luke will not complete Rey's training goes hand in hand with what I said in my last video. He's too reluctant to do it, and Rey is annoyed by it. Rey and Luke don't have the best teacher and student relationship because he isn't what she expected, and he doesn't want to train her at all. As Matpat quoted, director Rian Johnson said that you're going to meet people who think are going to help you, but who don't. So it's kind of obvious that she's going to look for another teacher. And I do think Kylo is that other teacher. I mean, he says it.
You need a teacher. I could show you the ways of the Force.
The thing is, I don't think she's going to turn to the dark side. That is way too obvious. As Luke puts it, Matpat,
this is not going to go the way you think.
It's not going to go the way you think. The reason Rey is so calm in that production photo, I think, is because Kylo is no longer on the dark side at that point in the movie. Kylo is becoming a Grey Jedi. As Matpat quotes, by resolving of Grey through divine Jedi sight, Grey Jedi. So there will probably be some sort of Grey Jediism here. Otherwise, that would have not been put into the story. The savior, the son of sons, might be Kylo, especially with all the sun imagery in The Force Awakens. Of course, it's not canon anymore, so it doesn't really have to matter. Also, as a side note, while writing this theory, I'm having more and more ideas, so stick with me here. I'm unveiling the movie almost act by act. I also believe what Matpat said about Snoke talking to Rey. But even if that is the case, there is no way, I say no way, that he knew her from when she was small. Kylo went crazy about the mentioning of a girl, but Snoke seems passive about it, as if he's not really even interested at all. However, if he does say to her,
when I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
That means first of all, Kylo brought her to Snoke, and that Snoke is realizing her power at that moment. And if Kylo does not kill Leia, Snoke realizes Kylo's weakness and will want to kill him and take on Rey. Obviously, it doesn't go that much to plan, as in the trailer, we see Snoke force torturing Rey. Now imagine Kylo being in the same room at the moment. Does that sound familiar? Exactly, the return of the Jedi. Are we gonna get some poetry here? I sure do hope so. If Kylo was turned because he felt his parents cared more about the Resistance than him, the fact that Snoke will choose Rey over him puts him in the exact same spot. What if in that moment, Kylo turns against Snoke and saves Rey? He runs away with her, becoming the great Jedi teacher that she needs. Okay, let's turn to Luke's part in the story now. As Matpat pointed out, Luke does hold a lightsaber in his hand in the poster. I think for my part that he will be fighting Kylo Ren, thinking he's still on the dark side, in revenge for killing Han and Leia, even though it wasn't really him, which Luke may not know. Luke's dark side tendencies will then bring him to also fight against Rey, where he tells her her heritage. Sound familiar? Imagine if he actually said, "I am your father." But back again to being serious. I'd say Rey or Kylo will end up killing Luke as he turned to the dark side, and maybe in doing so, Rey or Kylo will save one another along the way. Okay, let's wrap things up again with my new detailed Last Jedi plot with just the 3 main characters. Number 1. Rey starts training with Luke, but he doesn't want to at all. He's also quite weird sometimes. He tells her to use the Force, where she sees Kylo extending his hand. Luke tells her to resist it and then won't continue her training properly. Number 2. Rey is annoyed by this, so she goes to find Kylo, believing there's still good in him. Return of the Jedi. 3. Meanwhile, Kylo has to kill Leia, but doesn't have the guts to. Someone else blows up Leia's ship instead, and Snoke realizes Kylo's weakness. Number 4. Like Darth Vader, Kylo brings Rey to Snoke. Rey exemplifies her powers, and Snoke tells her how he saw her powers maybe in a second meeting, I don't know. He then goes on to say that he wants her to kill Kylo because he's weak, and join the dark side as replacement for Kylo. Number 5. Rey disagrees, and Snoke goes on to torture her. Kylo stops Snoke and saves Rey, running off into hiding with her. Number 6. Luke returns in the search for Kylo and Rey, leading to the big lightsaber battle between the 3 of them, where Luke tells Rey who her parents are, and either Rey or Kylo kill Luke to save one another. Bam! Nailed it! At this point, my theory is so precise that most of it will obviously be wrong, but I would watch that movie to be honest. But hey, it's just a theory. A very original but unoriginal ending to the theory video theory.